Hey, it's Andrea Goodsaid, and I just finished my first capture page with the tool that comes inside of Futuristic marketing. It's really pretty easy to use. There's a couple things that I'm going to end up teaching people, I think, but it's no big deal. We can get through them. And I've linked it. You can see here that I have a link right on my About section. So you land on my page, and you can click this link here, which actually takes you to the tab on my page. So I got there that way, and then I'm going to close that for a minute. That actually opens a new window, which is kind of weird. I mean, a new tab. But I could also get there this way. I renamed this little block, and I put my own little picture in there. And I pretty linked this. If you don't know what that is, it's a plugin for WordPress, so I shortened it to a redirect so that it was nice and tight, because you don't have very much space here in this author box. I mean, it's not an author box. I have that. That's the kind of fan page that I have. But you can write a little blurb here and then add an HTTP URL, and it'll be actually clickable in this box, which is huge. So I have it so if they come to when they get to my page, they read this and hopefully they click here. Otherwise, they might scroll across here and click on this very first offer. I'll make additional offers, and there's actually, you can have up to 8 or 12 in here, I forget. There's quite a few. These are all empty spaces, and eventually I'll move the likes down because they're not as important as these other list building potential items. But anyway, that's what I did. I've done it here. So let's say that I came to this page and I went to this 15K in 45 days. Ideally, they like your page. I'm not sure if they have to like it first or not.
My name is Andrea Goodsaid, and I'm here to tell you.
You can't stop that.
A lot of people have been
video.
asking me how I made, how
right,
exactly
I'm
I made
going to go back
$15,000
to
in 45 days. It was my first.
This tab. So anyway, you get the picture. So I made the capture page. I guess I could show you the actual. Let me show you the inside of the tool itself. So when you won't see this unless you're a visitor.
My name is Andrea Goodsaid.
I mean, you won't see that unless you're on your own page. The public won't see those tab things at the top. But anyway, I clicked Edit Tab, and this is the choices. You get to choose which style video you want to be using. I mean, capture page format. So I played around with a couple of these. You can actually go back in and change them after the fact, so you're not like, it's not a tragedy if you pick one and you decide you'd rather have the other one. And then each of these little things drops down, and you can put in the text that you want. So depending on how, this is the kind that I chose. So the pre-headline is this black part up here, and that populates down in this pre-headline text, and so forth. So all the ones with asterisks, these little red marks, are required. So you have to put something in there. I actually didn't want to have a red headline. I was going to try it without it, but it's a required component of this particular template. So I put a short one, but each of these has this different section. Now you can see I went pretty Spartan on this one. I uploaded a video to YouTube. I actually just made it on iMovie sitting here on my couch a minute ago. And then I didn't put any offer text. I have the offer is in the video. The video is under a minute long. It shouldn't be any trouble for anybody to listen to. Hear my dog sneezing. And I didn't put any bullets. So the things that don't have an asterisk are optional. They're just things that you can put in there if you want to. And I will have to check and see if they have some recommendations for these terms of service, privacy, contact text, that sort of thing. And then you can write this in the bottom, and then show the last part, which was the capture form section. So again, you can look at the particular template that you're using and see where the text is going to land, sort of, and then just play around with it and save it, and then go back and edit it a little bit. So this part, the very first part, goes here, just below the arrows in this particular template. It's just the capture form. So that's what I put in mine. And then the rest of it, again, is optional. So you can, well, this part is, but then you have to put in the they have 3 different choices of autoresponder services that you can plug in here. I happen to use Aweber. So I plugged I grabbed the raw code. Let me see if I can show you that, because that can make a difference too. Yeah, so when you get to this page, you'll have made a web form, and actually there was no design to it, although I think I can put a better subscribe button, which I'll go back and do later. But when you've made your form and then you go to publish it, there's I will install my form, and there's two choices, and it called for HTML, so I went ahead and chose the long HTML version. I haven't tested it with the JavaScript. I mean, it's worth trying, but they would have said JavaScript, I think, if they'd meant it. And then, so I pasted all that text in, and it turned into this all by itself. So it turned into what it turned into, and I didn't do anything else to it. I think this was pre-populated. You can put whatever you want in here. It ends up just below the opt-in form. Then I saved the capture page, and it lets me view the tab, and it'll start the video again because it doesn't seem to be able to be paused. But then I entered email and stuff in here. And
my name is Andrea Goodsaid.
Let me go back to the front here. And so when people put their name and email in there, I have the web form set so that it goes to, I can show you that part too. I have the web form set so that it goes to the next piece of the funnel that I want it to land in. So this is actually a page that has a video that gives them a little bit more of my 15K story. So a lot of little bits and pieces, but it's sort of if you just take each little component at a time and weave it together, there's nothing you can really break. We can always go back and edit those tabs, and it's pretty darn cool. It didn't take me, it took me about, I don't know, half an hour, including making the video and thinking about what I wanted it to say. So, you know, figure it'll take you an hour if you don't know what you're starting with, and just play around with it. Alright, and if you run into any points that give you, you know, I don't know, a stomach ache or a headache or whatever, you know, like figuring out how one piece connects bolts to the next, just if you can do a quick jing or really be specific about where it is that you're getting stuck, it's easier to see it than it is to read it, the problem, then do it, because that'll make it easy to help you fix it. Alrighty? It went a little longer than I wanted to, so I'm going to cut it off now and say good evening, because it's time for bed almost. Talk to you later. Bye.